Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nabiela Maulida. In English for various instruction, me and Ibu Muriyah would like to talk about authentic learning. So, what is authentic learning? Authentic learning is an instructional approach that allows students to explore, discuss, and meaningfully construct concepts and relationships in contexts that involve real-world problems and projects that are relevant to the learner. The explanation by Bransford and Pellegrino in 1999. Here, I mention authentic learning and constructivism because authentic learning takes a constructivist approach in which learning is an active process that teachers provide opportunities for students to construct their own knowledge through engaging in self-directed inquiry, problem-solving, official thinking, and reflections in real-world context. Then this knowledge construction is heavily influenced by the student's prior knowledge and experiences, as well as by the characteristics that shape the learning environment, such as values, expectation, rewards, and also sanctions. This education is more student-centered. Then students no longer simply memorize facts in abstract and official situation, but they experience and apply information in ways that are grounded in reality. Then the characteristic of authentic learning. Authentic learning is centered on authentic, relevant, real-world tasks that are of interest to the learners. Then students are actively engaged in exploration and inquiry. This learning most often is interdisciplinary. And then learning is closely connected to the world beyond the walls of the classroom. Students become engaged in complex tasks and higher order thinking skills such as analyzing, synthesizing, designing, manipulating, and also evaluating information. We know that such as in Curriculum 2013. Students produce a product that can be shared with an audience outside the classroom. The resulting products are concrete, allowing them to be shared and critiqued. This feedback allows the learner to be reflective and deepen their learning because of the feedback. And then the learning is student-driven with tutors, peers, teachers, parents, and outside experts all assisting and coaching in the learning process. The last is learners employ instructional scaffolding techniques at critical times. What is the role of education in the 21st century? As always, at its core, the role of education is prepare students to become active, successful, and contributing members of society. The essence of education's role has not changed. The first role is instructions should be student-centered. While student-centered learning is strongly encouraged in the 21st century, this does not mean that the teacher can never give a lecture again. Instead, It means that the main source of knowledge in the classroom should not be teacher. Education is no longer about listening to the teacher talk and absorbing the information. So in order to contribute to the society, students will need to be able to acquire new information as problems arise. The second rule is education should be collaborative. Students must learn how to collaborate with others. Society today has people collaborating across the globe. Then students should be encouraged to work together, discover information, piece it together, and construct meaning. Schools should also be collaborating with other educational institutions around the world to share information and learn about different practices or methods that have been developed. They should be willing to alter the instructional methods in light of new advancement. The third is learning should have context. Student-centered does not mean that the teacher gives up all control of the classroom. Well, students are encouraged to learn in the different ways. The teacher still provides guidance as to the skills that need to be acquired. The teacher can make a point of helping students to understand how the skill they are building can be applied in their lives. And then students will be much more motivated to learn something that they can see the value in. Okay, the last is school should be integrated with society. In order to prepare students to become responsible citizens, we need to model what a responsible citizen is. School will often work at accomplishing this by creating events for the school community, by encouraging students to join committees or take part in school projects and occasionally helping the community around them. And with the power of technology and internet, students of today can do even more global. So our community is no longer just the area of space located around the school. Next, the strengths and weaknesses. In the strengths, students are provided an opportunity to integrate and connect unfamiliar knowledge, and then exposed to a variety of activities and viewpoints. Students apply theoretical concepts to the real life situation and practice tasks and skills. Collaborate with other students. Students are able to problem solve, and then the last is exercise judgment and increase knowledge in a safe environment. And then the weaknesses of authentic learning. Some authentic learning activities may be too time-consuming or expensive to implement in the classroom on a regular basis. Then, students may become frustrated if the learning activity is not well planned out and executed. Here, to avoid this point, teachers are able to prepare well before the practice, like that. Then the last, authentic activities should be used in moderation because students most often learn skill more actively when separated from other activities. That's all of my explanation about authentic learning. The video analysis will continue by Ibu Muriyah, and after Ibu Muriyah explained the video analysis, we will watch together the video about authentic learning. Thank you, Ibu Muri. The time is yours.
Well, thank you, Nabila, for the time that it was given to me. Good morning, everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Here, I would like to share about video analysis from SMA Negeri 2 Blitar in 2017. Alright, first, let's take a look at the lesson plan for the learning process here. The topic is about historical recount, and this topic has been touched in the 10th grade for the second semester. The basic competence which has been explored is to distinguish the social function, generic structure, and language feature of historical recount text. And the second basic competence, it should be writing a short historical recount text based on the appropriate structure of text and use a suitable form of language feature. And there are 3 learning objectives they have tried to achieve here. The first, students are able to identify the social function, generic structure, and language feature of the historical recount text. And the second, students are able to find the detailed information from the text. And the third, students are able to find specific information implicitly and explicitly from the text. Before we go to the analysis, let's take a look at the approach that used in this learning process. As we know, the approach that the teacher used here is the scientific approach. Scientific approach is regarded as an approach that integrates students' attitude, skills, and knowledge by implementing, observing, questioning, experimenting, associating, and communicating in teaching learning process. And the discovery learning as a method, it is a kind of technique of inquiry-based learning and is considered as a constructivist-based approach to education. It is also referred to a problem-based learning, experiential learning, and 21st century learning. It is supported to work of learning theorists and psychologists like Jean Piaget and Jerome Bruner and Seymour Papert. And the teacher used the strategy that is authentic learning combined with the cooperative learning. As we know that authentic learning is an instructional approach that places students at the heart of real life experiences, armed with the challenge to address or tasks to be handled or contents to explore. Students develop academic and problem-solving skills in a context that is relevant to the learner. And then the teacher tried to use some techniques. Here they use mind mapping, game, role play, debate, and retelling. Well, the audience, before we go to the analysis, we would like to share you about the syntax of learning activities for discovery learning. There are 6 syntax of learning activities. The first is stimulation, the second is problem statement, the third is data collecting, the fourth is data processing, the fifth is verification, and the sixth is generalization. According to the video, the teacher has divided the activity into 3 meetings. At the first meeting, they conducted stimulation by asking students to watch the video about the pemberontakan peta by S.Pd at the time, and then the activity of problem statement, and then data collecting, of course, combining with data processing. And here the teacher used the technique of mind mapping to figure out about the generic structure of the text. And at the second meeting, the teacher asked the student to have outside classroom activity. The teacher conduct a game, and the name of the game is Jumble Paragraph. Here, the student do the activity in a group discussion. And then the teacher has supervised what they do in out classroom. Of course, in this activity, the students make some verification with the other groups by arguing or by answering or by verification the concept about the content of the text. And at the third meeting, it looked like that here is the implementation of 21st century life skill, or we can say as 4C, which consists of collaboration, critical thinking, communication, and creativity. Collaboration here is implemented when the students have to work together in a group discussion. And then for critical thinkings, they also have been has been guided to ask using high order thinking skill questions, and they communicate what their idea or their concept relating to the questions. And for their creativity, they can perform what they want. They can perform like a debate, they can perform like making a summary or testimony about the concept that they have got. And the last syntax is generalization. Here, the student make the summary or the generalization lead by the teacher. So the teacher only facilitate and confirm what the generalization it should be have. All right. And we come to the evaluation of teaching and learning process. So far, we found that the lesson plan has been well designed, so the activities conducted in a sequence of events, of course, based on the discovery and learning syntax. And then it led to the implementation of curriculum 2013, which it has been combined with the supporting scientific approach activity such as literacy, 21st century life skill, or we call as the 4C, and then high order thinking skills, and also the character building. And we do agree that a triple technique of learning can be benefit to achieve the target language. Here, there are various techniques to accommodate the student to make the enjoyable atmosphere in English class. And game is the favorite one to be applied. And we also think that this is an example of implementation of student-centered learning. After we have evaluation, as this is our analysis about the learning process, the strength and the weakness we have found for each part. For example, here, this is the strength for teacher's role when the learning process has been conducted. Here, the teacher can be a good facilitator and guide each steps of activity in a sequence of discovery learning. Meanwhile, in the weaknesses, she has a limited time to control the outside classroom activity. And for the time allocation, the strength one is this is a good management of time to cover all the activities for each steps, and then it's avoid the boringness or the monotonous method. But for the weakness, it needs some meetings to accomplish a whole activity, and it's contrary to the subject schedule. As we know that in senior high school, we only have 2 hours a week for English. So when this should be conducted in 3 meetings, it means that we need 3 weeks to accomplish one topic. And then for the assessment, The strength is, during the process, mostly the activities have been conducted in a group, so it is easier to have a group assessment. But the weaknesses is, the teacher did not observe the individual capability. Again, we would like to share here, after we watch the video, we suggest you to use this as a comparison or as the reference. I think this example of implementation, discovery learning, can be a good model to be implemented in our classroom. But we can use another technique or a strategy. It depends on the topic. And the audience, this is our references. We get the video from these links and then some curriculum context. Well, that's all of our presentation. Thank you for your kind attention. Forgive me for the limited resources. Forgive me for imperfect presentation. Thank you for watching, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Before we begin our study, let us pray together. Pray, begin. Finish.
That Aldo got accident yesterday.
Got accident?
Yes.
Yes. Where is he now?
He is in the hospital now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Excuse me, Mom. How about we visit him after school?
Yes, I think it is a good idea. Okay, what about mother? I'm still in the lesson after school, right? Yes. Okay. Okay, students. Now we are going to discuss about our new material. Okay? Okay. I'm sure that you have known this material when you are in junior high school. Okay, class. Today I have something exciting for you. Okay, but just wait and see. Okay? Now pay attention to the video on the display and don't forget to write down one, the topic, okay, the second is the event, and then the action verb, and then noun phrase. Don't forget to write down the adverb of time and adverb of place. Okay?
Berdiri! Sip! Noleh! Kepala Tentara Pembela Tanah Air berturut-turut pasukan maju! Jalan!
Fields of paradise, heroes pay the price, young men who when all the world is
Okay, all my beloved students, I would like to ask you about some question related to this video. Okay, my first question is, what is your impression after watching this video?
Me, Mom?
Yes, you know about me.
It's very sad, Mom.
Yes, very sad. Okay, Nabiela.
Impressing.
Impressive, good. And then, Mama.
I'm so scary, Mom.
Scary?
Yes.
Yes. Any other?
Me, ma'am. So heroic, ma'am.
Wow, so much good. Yeah, as we know, there are some action verbs used in this story. Okay, after this, please write down some action verbs on the whiteboard. Okay?
Okay.
Some action verbs that you find in this story. Action verb. Okay, let's start from Iqbal. Okay, here for you, Iqbal. Okay, let's check together. Set up.
Set up.
Okay, and sentence.
Sentence.
Okay, what is the meaning of sentence?
Me, Mom.
Okay.
Sentence is kalimat.
Kalimat. We are talking about action verb. Okay, we are talking about action verb. The meaning of sentence mean kalimat? No. Okay, what is the meaning of sentence? Okay, Titania.
The meaning of sentence is menghukum.
Okay, good job. Ya, menghukum. Manage. Yes, good. Executed. Okay, executed. Not everybody. Executed. And it's time for us to make a group with your own group, and then we would like to discuss our book. The title is The Battle of Surabaya. You can find this title on your book page 123 and 124. Okay? Now please make a group. Wait now. Okay, group. After you have opened page 123 and 124, now please look at the question in task 2. Okay, in task 2. Okay, have you got it?
Yes,
Okay. And then please discuss with your friend to answer this question in task 2. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, class. Now it's time for you to answer the question. Okay, group 1? Okay, group 1. Please orientation.
The question is, what do you think about the Indonesian military power compared to that of the British Army at that time?
Okay, the
Yes,
answer?
the answer is, in our opinion, the Indonesian military compared with the British Army is very far because the British Army still have the modern weapon,
Yes, I see.
but Indonesian Army still have a traditional weapon.
Okay, good answer.
The question is, how did the battle influence the national revolution at that time? The answer is, the battle provocated Indonesian and international community to really to support the independent movement of Indonesia.
Now, I want to show you the mind mapping application about the text of the Battle of Surabaya. Okay, you can see the mind mapping on the slide. Okay? Yeah. Okay, this is the text of the Battle of Surabaya, and the first paragraph is talking about the orientation, the second talking about the series of events, and then the third one talking about the reorientation. Okay, in orientation, we find the sentence, the bloody battle took place in 1945 in Surabaya. And then, now, there are some series of events in this text. Okay, how many events? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there are 9 events in the text of the Battle of Surabaya. And then, the last paragraph, the meaning is reorientation. So, in orientation, this is the stating personal comment about the event. Okay, now, your group, please answer the question about the series of events in this mind mapping. Okay, the number 1 has given to you. The governor of Java and Brigadier Maulida made an agreement. Okay, this is done for you. And then for the second, please find the answer based on the text of the Battle of Surabaya in your BTP, page 123. Okay, now please do it now with your group. Okay, you understand? Yes, ma'am. Okay, there are series of events in the text of the Battle of Surabaya. Okay, now please continue the event like what we have shown in the mind mapping. Okay? Okay, students, this is the end of our studying about the text of the Battle of Surabaya. And then now, I would like to remind you, in order to deepen your knowledge, it is better if you find out from another resources. First, you can find the resources from one BTP, and you can find another book from other resources, and then the third you can find from the internet resources. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, don't forget to make your seat on the right place. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, now. And then please look around you. If there is some rubbish, please take the rubbish and throw away into the dustbin. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much for your attention today. I hope you can study well at home. Okay? Thank you very much and bye-bye. Okay, children, good morning. Good morning. I'm good. Okay, today we would like to show something to you. It's Show the King. For us to play the game outside of this class, you know? You know the meaning of the game? The name of the game is Historical Recountable Envelope. Inside of the envelope, some jumbled paragraph card inside of this envelope. Okay, not much to do first. First, arrange them into a best order of meaningful text. Second, add together as quickly as possible. Then, who finishes first become the winner. Okay, now it's time for the game, and you can do it outside of the class. Okay, next one. Yes. Here for you. Here you are. Okay. Thank you.
What do you think is the right title for this?
I think the right title is Youth Pledge.
Yes. Yes. I think I have to agree with you.
Okay. So where is the first paragraph?
I think this is the first word.
And just one. Because in here right on the first meeting.
No, this is the first event. Yeah, yes.
Right. Yes, and I'm pretty sure this is the first paragraph because
It's the first
explain
paragraph.
the youth
Because-
play.
Yes, because
And-
I think this is the orientation of our story.
Yeah.
Okay, the game is over. I would like to know the result. Okay, and then I would like to take this jumble paragraph and then we discuss it on the gazebo. Okay?
I'm from Ahmad Yani Group. I want to ask your group. We commemorate Youth Pledge annually on 28 October. Please give your opinion. Why is it so important for young generation to commemorate? And give some implementation of Youth Pledge in our daily life.
Yes, I would like to answer the question from Ahmayani's group. So, I think we, as the young generation, should commemorate the youth pledge so that we don't forget with the history of our own nation. Because the young generation is the future candidate for the nation's leader. Okay, the success of our country can be seen from the quality of the young generation. Thank you.
And in my opinion, as a national citizen with nationalism, students like us must study hard.
In my point of view, Indonesian nation, so we must respect our different friends in religion, culture, ethnic, race, etc.
And the last in my mind, the united language is Indonesia language. So as the student, we must understand and use Indonesia language well.
Okay, good morning, students. Good morning. How are you today? Fine too, thank you. Okay, students, I want to know who is absent today. I'm sorry to hear the SC getting better now. Yes. Good, alhamdulillah. Okay, students, today it's time for you to show your performance. Okay? Before we do it, it is better if you set your class into U form. Okay? your best performance. Okay?
Okay.
Please set your time.
Okay, good morning guys. So our group will perform role play inspired by the Round Table Conference in 1949. Okay, so in this role play, we'll be like discussing in the round table. So I'll be Mr. Marcelo, Argo will be Mr. Herman, Uca will be Mr. Rum, and Iqbal will be Mr. Kaka. So, and then leave Titan as the chairperson. So I hope you will enjoy this and please be quiet when we're discussing. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for achieving peace and harmony nationally and internationally among countries in the world is very important for people in the world. In my right side, there are Netherlands delegation, and my left side, there are Indonesian delegation. And then the topic we're going to discuss today is the result of Roundtable Conference in Den Haag, Netherlands, happened in 1949 is beneficial to Indonesian people. Now, to open the conference, let's hear a word from Indonesian delegation. Mr. Rum, I is yours.
Thank you for your time. In this conference, I want to discuss about Indonesia's sovereignty. Netherlands is the independence of our country, right? We have been independent now. We want to propose that we want our complete sovereignty to be recognized by the world. Thank you.
So if Indonesia want Netherlands admit sovereignty of Indonesia.
Okay, friends, I really like your performance today. Now, please return your seat like the beginning. Okay? Okay, now. Okay, class, we come to the conclusion. The conclusion is not from me, but from you, okay? What is the name of this text that we have discussed? Recount about? We call it historical recount. Okay? Okay, we come to the second conclusion. What is the writer's intention to write this text? Armanda.
To retell something in the past.
To retell something in the past? Okay?
Ma'am.
Oh, Ma'am.
Yeah. To tell about what happened in the past sequence events.
The writer's intention to write this text to retell the event that happened in the past time in the chronologically event. Okay? Is it clear for you?
Yes.
Is it the same? The structure of text between personal recount and historical recount?
Yes.
Okay, who can answer? What are the structure of text of historical recount?
Me, Mom.
Okay, Tania.
It's orientation, event, and reorientation.
Yes, good. Yeah. Of historical recount, the first is orientation, the second is
Event.
The sequence of event, and then the third is
Reorientation.
So it is the same with personal recount. Okay? Okay, the last conclusion for you. What are the language features of historical recount? Yes, Faradini?
Using past tense, action verb.
Okay, stop for a while. Nadira, Ronaldo, can you stop? Okay?
Yes, sorry, Ma'am.
And then please pay attention to your friend answer. Okay, Faradini, please repeat.
Using past tense, action, verb, noun, phrase, at verb of time, and at verb of place.
Good. Okay. Good job. I like the way you make the conclusion. Okay, and then I'm very proud of you. This is the end of the lesson today. Don't forget studying at home. Please do your UKBN. Okay?
Yes,
ma'am. And don't forget, the next meeting we are going to do the test. Please prepare. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for your attention today. And then I would like to say goodbye.
Model pembelajaran discovery learning dalam bahasa Inggris sangat bermanfaat karena banyak sekali hal-hal menarik yang saya dapatkan. Pada awalnya saya merasa tidak tertarik dengan pembelajaran yang hanya monoton saja. Tidak ada games, hanya tanya jawab. Setelah adanya discovery learning, saya semakin tertarik dan semakin ingin tahu apa itu bahasa Inggris dan apa itu recount text. Kemudian, rasa ingin tahu saya dapat tersalurkan dengan kreativitas saya dalam mengumpulkan tugas-tugas berupa mind mapping, role play, ataupun testimoni-testimoni yang lainnya.
Manfaat lain yang dapat saya peroleh dari adanya model pembelajaran discovery learning adalah saya yang tadinya kurang mengerti menjadi lebih paham dan akhirnya berani untuk berbicara dan mengarang sesuai dengan kreasi saya. Oleh karena itu, saya berharap model pembelajaran discovery learning dapat terus dilanjutkan sehingga para siswa akan lebih mengerti dan juga lebih paham dengan materi yang telah disampaikan.